I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Yeah. When Lab comes in, Glitch McConnell is 84, and he's still in Congress. I mean Mitch. No, I meant Glitch.
He's barely still on this earth.
Hey, barely he's still in Congress,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lab, what you think, man?
No, I mean, similar to Rika, it's something that we've talked about over and over again. And I will say this, and I don't, not to excuse or absolve them, but I don't think this is a political thing per se, because this happens in, everyday walks of life, whether you see it in, companies, people, churches, whatever it is, people staying on too long. But the thing that I started to realize is that, like Erika said, who are we voting for? We're voting for people who they're not really politicians. Well, I take that back. They are politicians. They're career politicians, so that's their career. And so if they didn't have that, what else would they do? This guy had held office since like some sort of public office since 1975. I mean, that's
longer than all of us have been alive.
All of us, have been alive. And that's crazy. What I don't think.
I mean, in one regard, it's commendable, but
yeah,
at some point you got to hang it up, bro.
At some point you got to hang it up. You gotta let the succession plan kick in. You gotta, if you're a good leader, you're grooming someone to fill in behind you. And it shouldn't take you till you're 80 years old to have been in office for 50 years to have developed someone considerably younger who can, quite frankly, have more energy, more effort, more enthusiasm. Because that's a part of it too. Is the younger people usually go for more enthusiastic representatives. People, you see Mondami, how he garnered all this enthusiasm when Obama first ran, how young he was compared to everybody. It just got the young vote out there. And I think that's something that we really need to be thinking about, targeting more young representatives or people who can represent.
I mean, you mentioned one key phrase, succession planning. And, in business, that's important. So when you do business, I know in the field I'm in, when we decide who we're going to partner with in terms of business, like, okay, before I get into the bed with you, what is your succession plan? If you're a small business, right? So if you have grandpa who founded the business in 19 whatever, right? And he's been the figurehead for the business. He signs all the checks. He dictates, the mission of the company, even if he's more on an advisory role, right? Who's going to take over when he passes away? Because we're all going to go sometime, right? And that's just good business. That's doing your due diligence. Who's going to succeed the person when they have to go? And when you're in your 80s, it's easy to say you got more years behind you than you have ahead of you, right? And there's definitely still funds to be made. You could be a political consultant or just go and enjoy your life, because I know you've made enough money, right? But it's the power, it seems, that these people are addicted to. And I think the problem, this is just my opinion, what keeps the Democrats from being organized is because they are more of a coalition than the Republicans are. The Republicans have one thing that unites them. And we know what that is, right? White supremacy. Democrats, you got Black people, you got the immigrants that aren't Black, right? You got LGBTQIA, and whoever else, and everybody is fighting for their own different needs, right, for their community, but they don't come together to be organized to say, listen, this is what we need to do to to retain power. And I've always said the Republicans, especially under MAGA, they have done a really good job of looking at the future, putting policy actions into place, and being strategic about what they want to do to retain power. They put young people on the Supreme Court, right? Because they knew we need to be able to do this. They are targeting young white men to say, hey, listen, you guys are being forgotten. You guys are going to be wiped out. When have white men ever not been in power or be able to do what the fuck they want to do, right? But they sit there and say, listen, they're going to replace you. And that's when you got the Charlie Kirks and the Turning Point USA. They're much more strategic in targeting not only their base, but the young people in their base. And it doesn't seem like the Democrats can figure it out. Now, I'm pro-Black, and I recognize that it's in my best interest to vote for the Democrats. Sometimes I think the Democrats are in on it because you can't be this damn stupid all the time. You can't be this inept all the time, right? So, I mean, I would just like to see somebody be able to say, you know what, who can we even say is the leader of the Democratic Party?
Kim Jeffries. Yeah.
Please. Please. You got Hakeem Jeffries, you got Schumer, right? You got now Pelosi was an effective leader.
Mhm.
Pelosi was an effective. Howard Dean was a effective leader. They got rid of him because we did that little crazy shit, but he was an effective leader, right? You got AOC, Hakeem Jeffries. Who else?
Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom. Most people don't even know who Gavin Newsom is. He's from California. They know who he is. And he out here messing up, talking about, I'm just like you. I can't pass the test. I'm dyslexic. Motherfucker,
Yeah.
I can read.
I think like you said, the power, but I also, like I said, it's one of them deals where nobody is gonna vote to get rid of their own job, right?
Mhm.
So they're never going to take the extreme stance that we want them to take or that we would love for them to take when they need to, because they're putting themselves in jeopardy. And so that's where the term limits, not just age limits. I think term limits, because if you can milk this for 50 years, and like you said, Erika, we don't get near that. How many days a year do they actually work? You get your travels paid for, you travel around,
Health insurance.
health insurance, all that stuff, got a pension, you know. If you can milk that for 50 years, I mean, who wouldn't, right? You know what I mean? Without without really putting yourself in harm's way, because some of these seats, quite frankly, they're not going to lose. They're not going to lose the seat because it's kind of like this district. I know your grandma, I know your mom, I know, and everybody there, they're going to vote for me because I've just always been what they know.
You got Jim Clyburn,
Mm-hmm.
who is a leader in the Democratic Party. He had been grooming his daughter to succeed him.
Yeah.
Jim Clyburn is 85. Jim Clyburn is 85.
So his daughter probably 65, 60. They ain't like she a spring chicken.
He's 85. And he was supposed to be grooming his daughter, but he said, you know what, got you. I'm gonna run again for an 18th time at 85.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm telling you, when these baby boomers die off, like, obviously I don't wish any harm to y'all's grandma and grandpa, but when these boomers die
All
off,
mine is dead. All mine is dead, man.
it's going to change mine too. It's going to
Yeah.
change so much. It's going to really like change the landscape of this country, because I think that a lot of us in our generation realize that I don't want to be working till 85. I don't want to have power over stuff that's not even something that I can really like find relevancy in, because like
Mhm.
even like just today, my daughter was in this step show thing. I was tired just watching them. No, I don't want to be running around and jumping around and doing stuff, but I wanted to get done. Like being on the campus and meeting some of the young leaders and stuff like that in our organizations and stuff like that. I was like, hey, if we just take care of them, they will take care of what needs to be done. We just have to give them the tools. And that's why when you said succession plan, I'm like, man, not even just that, but mentorship, whatever.
Mhm.
We got to start putting them in the right rooms, in positions to meet the people that can help them get to where they need to be. And we got to let all of these old people step aside.
Yeah.
Because they won't. I don't
But
know
you know
how we
what,
got to do. We
though?
got to trip them on their way to fill in they at
I
turning
think
their application.
But I'm gonna tell you this though. Well, go ahead, lad.
no, I was say I think it's you can kind of see in business and corporate that a lot of the younger people aren't sticking around because these people they hit that ceiling where these people have been there forever and they're not going anywhere. So you have to jump, make lateral moves and minute moves here, another slight step up here. So when those people are gone, it's going to be interesting to me because all these people are so used to hopping from place to place, attention span so short. Will will there be anyone who wants to do it long term, or will it just be every 6 years, every 10 years, you got a whole new crop?
I think that speaks to, the point that Erika made highlights the difference this in our show, right? Follow me here. Erika talked about who wants to be involved for that long, who wants to be in power. And he talked about the baby boomers. Really, the people who are just as annoying are those older Gen Xers. Now, Lav and I are Gen X, but we fall into that line where it's like we're younger Gen X. And so they call them like, I don't know how to pronounce it, but they call it like Zennials, right? So it's like we kind of have some of the traits of millennials, but we still are Gen X too. We were raised by boomers. But those older Gen X, they've always been a terrible fucking generation, in my personal opinion. I got a bunch in my family. Entitled, just problematic. So when you look at, and Jim Clyburn's daughter, 64 years old. Her name is, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Mignon, so Mignon or whatever.
Something like it.
Whatever it is. I don't want to disrespect the sister's name, but I just don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
But she's 64.
And you just gonna that's too old to be coming into.
Now 64 is not old. It's older, but it's not decrepit.
When you're legally mandated to start taking your Social Security at 65, then come on, 64 is old.
Okay,